Your pension options at retirement. As per the pension formula, your pension is initially calculated as a lifetime pension. This is the value you will see on your annual pension statement. At retirement, other options are available. A member who is married or in an eligible common law relationship must be paid a pension that provides a minimum 2/3 survivor benefit on death, unless they are living separate and apart by reason of the breakdown of the relationship, or their spouse or partner signs a waiver form within the 60 days prior to the pension commencement date. So Manitoba pension legislation states we have to leave at least 2/3 of our pension to our spouse or partner. The only two pension options in our plan that do not require a waiver form are the 2/3 to survivor and full to survivor options. I'll go into more detail on all the pension options available on the next slide. If you elect any option other than a 2/3 or full to survivor, then your spouse or partner must sign the waiver form, called a Form 5A, anytime when within 60 days of your date of retirement. It's important to note the timelines of this waiver form, as if it's signed outside of the 60-day window, either before or after, then it is not valid and you will not be able to elect a pension option leaving less than 2/3 to spouse. If completing your retirement forms through online services, the Form 5A will automatically print at the end with your application for a monthly pension when you finish completing your forms and have elected a pension option that requires the Form 5A to be completed. If you have requested a paper package from our office, then this form will automatically be included if you have a spouse, whether or not you require it. When planning for retirement, the first decision you will need to make is determining what date you are going to retire. Another decision is which pension option are you going to elect. If you have a spouse or common law partner, all of these pension options will be available to you. If you do not have a spouse or partner, then only the top 3 options are available to you. All of these pension options will provide you with a pension for your lifetime. The difference between them is if and when an amount is payable to a beneficiary. The first option is the lifetime pension option. This value is determined by the pension formula and provides a pension to the member for their lifetime. Upon the member's death, the pension ends. The member receives the full value of their pension. There is no cost to providing an amount payable to a beneficiary, as there is no beneficiary. When a member passes away, we always do a test to determine what the member has paid in contributions as compared to what we have paid them in the form of a monthly pension. If the member's contributions are higher than the pension paid to them, then the difference between the two is returned to the member's estate. This is called unexpended contributions and typically runs out within the first 3 to 4 years of collecting a pension. The second option is the minimum 10-year. This pension is slightly reduced from the lifetime pension as there is a cost to you when leaving an amount payable to a beneficiary. As we move down the chart, the different pension options leave an increasing amount payable to a beneficiary, therefore the greater the reduction to the member. The minimum 10-year option allows you to assign whoever you want as a beneficiary, and you can assign more than one beneficiary if you wish. If assigning more than one beneficiary, you determine how the funds are distributed. For example, if there are 2 beneficiaries, is the division 50-50, 75-25, etc. This option is payable for your lifetime. If you pass away within the first 10 years of collecting your pension, then the balance of the 10 years is payable to your beneficiary. For example, if you collect your pension for 8 years, then 2 more years is payable to your beneficiary. If you live past 10 years, then you continue to collect your pension for your lifetime. However, there is no beneficiary after this. Minimum 15-year, same concept. We are just extending the guarantee period. With the minimum 10 and 15-year options, you can change your beneficiary at any time when within the guarantee period. The last 3 options are the survivor options. For these options, only spouse or common law partner can be your beneficiary. If spouse predeceases you, you cannot assign a new beneficiary and the pension will cease upon your death. 1/2 to survivor. Again, the pension is reduced from the lifetime value. Upon the member's death, their spouse continues to receive half of the member's pension for the rest of their lifetime. 2/3 to survivor. Member receives a reduced pension. Upon the member's death, their spouse continues to receive 2/3 of the member's pension for the rest of their lifetime. Full to survivor, member receives a reduced pension. Upon the member's death, their spouse continues to receive the exact same amount the member was receiving. This option has the highest cost to it and is the lowest payment amount to the member, as it provides the highest amount payable to the spouse or partner. From these pension options, the only two that do not require spouse to sign the Form 5A waiver form are the last two options, the 2/3 and full to survivor. If you have a spouse or partner, a Form 5A will be required for all other options. It's important to note that once you elect a pension option, it cannot be changed after your date of retirement. This slide provides you with some sample costs. In our example, we are assuming that both the member and their spouse or partner are 55 years of age and that the value of their pension, as per the pension formula, is $1,000 per month. Keep in mind this is just an example. The pension values and costs will be different for every member. As you can see, with the lifetime pension option, the member receives the full value of their pension. There is no cost to ensuring an amount payable to a beneficiary, as there is no beneficiary. With a minimum 10-year, there is a small cost of $8 to the member, reducing the member's pension to $992 per month. This ensures the beneficiary will continue to receive $992 per month for the balance of the 10 years following the member's death. With the minimum 15-year, the cost to the member is slightly higher, $17, as we are now guaranteeing an amount payable to a beneficiary for a longer period, the balance of 15 years. The member receives $983 per month, ensuring the beneficiary continues to receive $983 per month for the balance of the 15 years following the member's death. The survivor options have higher costs associated with them, as we are now leaving an amount payable to a spouse or partner for the rest of their lifetime. With the 1/2 to survivor pension option, the cost to the member is $40. The member receives a reduced pension of $960 per month. Upon the member's death, their spouse or partner will continue to receive 1/2 of their pension, or $480 per month. With the 2/3 to survivor pension option, the cost to the member is $52. The member receives a reduced pension of $948 per month. Upon the member's death, their spouse or partner will continue to receive 2/3 of their pension, or $632 per month. The last option, the full to survivor pension, has the highest cost associated with it, $76. The member receives a reduced pension of $924 per month. Upon the member's death, their spouse or partner will continue to receive the exact same amount. At retirement, members have the option to elect a monthly pension or transfer the lump sum value out of the plan. If transferring, the majority of your funds will be locked in. You can transfer them to either a LIRA, locked-in retirement account, or LIF, Life Income Fund, with a financial institution. It's important to note that the transfer value increases significantly at age 55 with 10 years of service, as ancillary benefits, the pension plan's early retirement provisions, are included at that time. If you are leaving employment and are just under the age of 55 or have just less than 10 years of service, I recommend contacting our office to discuss the implications to your pension. The Income Tax Act limits the amount that can be transferred on a tax-sheltered basis. Anything over and above the allowable limit must be paid as a taxable cash payment. If you have RRSP room available, you may apply to the Canada Revenue Agency for permission for us to withhold less taxes at source. This application form is called a T1215 form and can be located on the CRA website. If transferring the funds out of the plan, life insurance does not continue. You can, however, convert to an individual policy with Canada Life by contacting them within 60 days of your date of retirement. We say proceed at your own risk, as once you transfer the funds out of our plan, you assume the investment risk in making them work for your lifetime. If considering this option, you may wish to obtain advice from a financial planner. Check with your employer to determine if this impacts any other benefits you may be entitled to receive, for example, severance benefits. You can obtain an estimate of your transfer value by running a termination estimate through online services. The process for transferring your funds out of the pension plan is different than when you elect a monthly pension option. If electing a monthly pension, ideally we want you to return your completed forms 4 to 6 weeks prior to date of retirement. When transferring your funds out of the plan, we cannot provide you with transfer forms until after you have left employment. We have to wait for your employer to provide us with your final service and salary by way of an end of service report. They won't send this to us until after they have paid everything out that is owing to you. Therefore, it will be several weeks before we receive the end of service report. Once we receive it, legislatively, we have up to 60 days to provide you with a package. You then have 120 days to complete and return it to us. Therefore, you should plan for a minimum of 3 to 6 months following your date of retirement without this income. If you decide to transfer the lump sum value of your pension upon retirement, please let our office know prior to your date of retirement so that we can place a note on your file to ensure we send you the applicable forms. If you have not already registered for online services, I encourage you to do so. Here you will be able to run your own estimates to determine the values specific to your account. We will start by reviewing a pension estimate. After clicking on Pension Estimate, it brings you to this next screen. Here you can run pension estimates according to a specific retirement age or date, or you can have the system run an estimate at your earliest eligible date, which is typically age 55, or your earliest unreduced date. You will likely want to run several pension estimates when determining the retirement date that is best for you. Next, we will review a termination estimate. After clicking on Termination Estimate, it brings you to this next screen. Note that you are limited to running termination estimates for the current date only. By clicking Run Estimate at the top of the screen, your termination estimate will then appear. Depending on the value of your pension, you may have a deferred or immediate pension option. Beside this, you will see the transfer value. Your transfer value may be locked in, non-locked in, or a combination of the two. Locked-in funds are only available for transfer. They cannot be removed in cash. Determining which pension option is best for you is really an individual decision. Use the tools and resources that we provide you with. Review the information on our website. Run estimates through your online services account. Contact our office if you have any questions. We can assist you via email, telephone, or an in-person meeting. Again, once you elect a pension option, it cannot be changed after your date of retirement. This concludes our segment on your pension options at retirement. Should you have any further questions about your pension or require assistance with the online services estimator, please contact our office. You can contact us either by phone or email.